Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Touring the Londonverse. I'm your host ScottBGaming. Today we'll be covering one of the biggest promotions as yet uncovered in this little series that we have going on here, and that is Championship Wrestling Elite. They are the second biggest promotion in America, and arguably I think they have probably the second biggest roster as well, which would kind of make sense seeing as America's quite a popular region in the Londonverse. So let's waste little time in getting stuck into this. As you can see here, we've got James' avatar with the default settings right as you would expect them to be. I don't know what I mean by that. But let's go to the main section of the promotional hub. We can see that I've taken control of this company for the video. We're at national size, the second largest. $10 million in the bank. We're prestiged at B and momentum A star. We have two television shows. We have CWE Breakout and CWE Elite TV, which is taking place tonight, as well as a monthly pay-per-view schedule. So a lot to work with, and we have a very, very big roster. So lots of different avenues we could go down creatively. But let's get stuck in and have a look at some of these people at our disposal. We start with Adrian Gray, a 29-year-old upper mid-card face. Got a cool blasé gimmick, I guess we'd go with. A bit Rob Van Dam-esque in terms of just like, hey dude, whatever, that kind of. You know what I'm getting at. The brawling B-, chain wrestling and mat wrestling are both high in the Bs. In fact, he's very much an all-rounder, even his aerial's not particularly bad. So he's deserving of his position on the card, I would have to say. Even, entertainment-wise, he's not too bad. And I think it's good for CWE to have people that can also not only just, compete at a good level in the ring, but are able to do the backstage stuff and, the kind of more character-based aspects of their personas. As it's even though it's mainstream indie, you still have to kind of appeal to that side of the market in order to kind of maintain, well, your momentum really. Adrian Gray fits that bill nicely. Move on now to Alexander Rivera, one half of a Mexican-based tag team. I think they're called the Exceptionals. We'll have to have a look. Yeah, in fact, it says in the bio there, but we'll be looking at the tag teams in a bit anyway. He's a cruiserweight competitor by trade. Most likely he was originally a luchador that kind of transitioned into the cruiserweight style. Low mid-carder, again got the cool gimmick. Not a bad tag team worker, but outside of that, I don't really see much for him in terms of mainstream success in the singles aspect. But he is he's a very entertaining tag team worker, and his aerial and flashiness are both very good as well, which will serve him real good. I don't know, it's been a long day for me, so hope you enjoy it anyway. Move on now to the CWE Undisputed Champion, Angel Izzard, the 24-hour rock star. Brawler by trade. Not the best actually in ring for this company, but he's pretty good. But his entertainment as well, he's well-rounded, and although he's not the most talented worker on the roster, he's probably one of the more, like I said, well-rounded individuals. So I don't begrudge him holding the title. There are certainly other individuals that I think are better equipped to carry the title and elevate it maybe even further, but certainly not a bad world champion to have on your roster. Move on now to Antonio Ricola. Now, hailing from Milan, Italy, he's one half of a tag team in the promotion that goes down quite well. We'll get to them in a little bit anyway. He's a technician by trade, light heavyweight, upper mid-card heel, obnoxious, rated at B+, so that's going down a treat. And his chain wrestling, mat wrestling submissions, all very nice. The mental attributes are pretty good. Entertainment, not so much, but again, for a tag team worker, I think this is perfectly acceptable. Could argue whether or not he would do well as a singles competitor. Again, if the story was right, I'm sure you'd be able to take pretty much any of these characters wherever you want. There's not really a bad one amongst them. He said unsure about the latter individuals on the roster, as he can't recall them off the top of his head, and is still talking about himself in third person. Very nice. Move on now to Arthur Baker, 48 years old, Kid Canada. Not an ironic name, that's what he was known as back in the day. Lightweight, old school face. Former CWE champion, actually. I don't know if that's been set in the title history. Probably not at this point. Like I said, the title history is going to be a bit of a exhausting exercise to undertake. But a lot of the work has been carried on behind the scenes, not by myself, has to be said. And if you look at his abilities in the ring, he can still, for 48 years of age, not too bad, really. And the basics and psychology are fantastic. So even when he does go to hang up the boots, I would have no problem keeping him around as a road agent at the very least. So fun times indeed. Brent Adams is the announcer. Let's have a look here. Having previous stints in the AWF actually, but again, you don't really need to know too much about him. Just the announcer for the company, and that will do. That will suffice. Move on now to Brian Turner-Lays. Now, Brian Turner-Lays is a little bit, well, he's known as the coach, but Bill Alfonso, think along those lines, and that's what you're kind of seeing with Brian Turner-Lays. Now, Brian Turner-Lays is the manager of JJ Davis, aka the Wildcat, who isn't terrible at promos, but it's certainly helped greatly by having the coach at his side. So we've got a good manager here in Brian. Carl Stock, this is one of the 3 founding fathers of the CWE, and he actually works as the colour commentator for the company. He's a former wrestler himself, retired now, but does a pretty good job in that aspect behind the desk. I actually think he is the owner of the company if we are not in charge, so another little bit of information for you. Move on now to Cassius Orion. Now, Cassius Orion, tag team partner of Antonio Ricola. That tag team wasn't influenced by anything, so what you're putting in the comments now, don't. That's alright. Anyway, he's pretty talented. He's more talented in-ring wise, I'd say, than Antonio Ricola, but he's also a little bit older. Only a year, though, to be fair. So you could, would he be a challenger for CW Undisputed Championship? I could see it. Would he win it? Maybe not, but it's an avenue we could go down eventually. Move on now to Chad Ames. I think he's one part of a tag team known as the Awesomeness in CW, which is a great name for a tag team, with someone who's quite charismatically retarded, which is interesting, because Chad Ames is quite charismatic. Surprisingly so. He's a lightweight competitor, lower mid-carder, happy-go-lucky, just an annoying person, really, to be around. 36 years of age, though, quite fun, and he offers something different. Move on now to Chance Hawkley, who I believe graduated the CWE Academy. They have their own training school. He forms part of a tag team with Jeff Galloway as Generation Next, I think that's what they're called. Again, we'll see it in a sec, so I don't need to start second-guessing myself. And for a 24-year-old, fantastic. He could really develop into being a leader on this roster over the next 5 years. This would be one of my projects, personally. I like the character a lot. Move on now to one half of, I know this tag team's Tribal Hostility, and that's Chelan. Now, Chelan is supposedly Native American, although that's up for debate, seeing as he's classed as white. Well, he's not, actually. I don't know why I said that. He is white, but he's going by the Native American word for deep water. Google it. And actually, if you do Google it, you should agree, because I'm pretty sure that's what I did. So, a little bit of a peek behind the curtains there for you. Didn't think you were getting that today now, did you? So, he's a good tag team worker. As a singles competitor, absolutely not. But I like having him there with the Savage gimmick. Moving now to Kobe Rollins from Kansas City, Missouri. Which looks like it's been spelt okay. We'll go with that. That's fine. Not particularly great in the ring. Low mid-carder, got an occult gimmick. He is a part of the tag team division as well, so I think that helps him for now. Because with a lot of the singles competitors, they're quite impressive in terms of statistics, in terms of mat wrestling and the physical aspects of in-ring work. So I think a lot of the tag team workers, whilst they're good and would do very well in other companies, they don't necessarily stand out as much unless it's like gimmick-wise. So Kobe Rollins is kind of a solid mid-card hand or a low mid-card hand, but he's part of the tag team, the Rise of Martyrdom, who with Jacob Black. It's a good tag team, though. Good tag team. I see big things for them as a unit. Move on now to Damasio Cruz, the other half of the tag team, the Exceptionals, with Alexander Rivera. Everything that's said for Alexander Rivera kind of applies here. Similar in age, I think Rivera's slightly better in terms of in-ring mechanics. Damasio Cruz is only classed as an opener as well, but he's also got the cool gimmick. It's not quite a nice little Mexican tandem. I do like them. It'd be fun to escalate them up in the pecking order, I think. Move on now to the 53-year-old, and yes, you have read that right, the East Coast Assassin Don Data, veteran technician. He's had previous stints with Championship Pro Wrestling when they were more prevalent in the 80s and 90s, and he did okay there. CWE, they're using him as a kind of veteran role to teach other people. Basics and psychology are good. Chain wrestling, mat wrestling is okay. Brawling's okay, but really he'd be there to be passing the torch. Upper mid-carder is the highest that this guy will ever be, and he will be de-pushed for me in a long-term game. We're now to another graduate of the CWE Elite Wrestling School, and that's the real deal Francis Birch, 31 years of age. Light heavyweight mid-card heel, no gimmick needed. Where we saw, I'm trying to remember, Chance Hawkley earlier, Francis Birch isn't quite as good as him. and I could see that probably being a good feud down the line, actually, when Charles Hawkley goes to make a name for himself in singles competition. But he's certainly no slouch. But again, as he's, well, he is part of a tag team. As a singles competitor, like I said with Kobe Rollins, it would be difficult for him to stick out from the pack. But again, it's all well and good me saying these things on paper, but when it comes to actually doing progressive storylines and writing this stuff down and having it unfold in game, it would probably be quite easy to get a lot of these characters into situations you'd want them to. So I don't mean to discredit them. I'm just going by an initial overview. Who am I apologising to? It's my own work. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, they're all great. They're all great. Is what I'm getting at. Move on now to, I'm going to say Gingolks. Gingolks. Answers on the back of a postcard if you know how to pronounce that. Native American word for the place of the skulls, which I think is fantastic if that is true. Plays a savage character, part of tribal hostility with Shellan, who we saw earlier. And Gingolks, it doesn't sound right however I say it. Gingolks we'll go with, but it just sounds wrong. I don't know why, because I know it's not similar, but when I'm saying Gingolks, in my head it sounds like Ginger Bollocks. And I know they're they're different things entirely. One, you could argue, is very irrelevant to what, the whole proceeding here. But in my head, that's what it sounds like when I'm saying it, so that's why I stop. So we'll go with Gingolks, and we'll hope that we don't insult anyone along the way. Sorry for people with Ginger Bollocks. Not that I should be apologising. Anyway, we'll cut that. Cut that out now. Okay. Anyway, move on to Gregory Hill. I think he was one of the first graduates of the CWE Elite Wrestling School. Charismatically inept, which is a shame. 32 years of age. His in-ring skills aren't that bad, actually, but I think he's relatively generic. We'd have to see how he does. Keep him at the mid-card level, that seems fine. I wouldn't be looking to push him instantly anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Move on now to the elaborately haired, we'll go with, Harvey Jackson. 29 years of age, former tag team partner of VIP, who we'll be seeing towards the end of the roster, obviously as it's alphabetical. In-ring, he's okay, got the suave character. He's more character than he actually is in-ring ability, and I think for that reason alone, he'd actually be a better fit for the AWF, but for now, he finds himself in the CWE. He's okay. Again, this guy probably has a little bit more upside than the likes of Gregory Hill, who we saw. I think there is more potential. When you just look at someone and you think there's a little bit something more about this guy. He's one of them on the roster. Move on now to Henderson Pope, tag team partner of Chad Ames, if memory serves me correct. 34 years of age. Very proficient as far as technical ability goes. Charismatically retarded, as we said earlier, D and D plus in that area, but which would do probably quite well in some of the other promotions. If you saw my Gold Star Wrestling coverage in the yesterday, I think it was, yeah, he'd probably do better than most of them. But at this level, that's not really good enough. But he relies upon his in-ring work. Chad Ames is more of the charismatic part of the duo, so it's like a good yin and yang balance. So that's fine. Move on now to Insanity. He's also one of the tag team workers. It's a hell of a tag team division, actually. CWE probably, for my money, have the best tag team division out of all the companies. They've got about 7 or 8 tag teams, I think. He's a lightweight, opener face, maniac gimmick, and cruiserweight-wise, he's actually very good. If I was the AWF, this is someone that I'd quite like to pick up, because even though he talks nonsense, his microphone and charisma is quite good, and in-ring-wise, he can get things done as far as a cruiserweight. So AWF, I'd be looking for him, but having said that, CWE, I'd want to keep him. So, he'll find work. That's what I'm saying. And he's part of the tag team Enigmatic Animality. Moving now to Ivan Antonov. Now, Ivan Antonov, heavyweight, mid-carder, heel, got the monster gimmick. He's not even that good at it, truth be told. He only has C+ in Menace. I think it's more just a kind of intimidating bruiser type. And as you can see, Brawl is what he relies upon. In all honesty, I don't see much of him, or see much of a future for him, I should say, in CWE. But that's a by the by. He's someone that, probably one of the few on this roster that I'm thinking, yeah, I don't really want you. Jacob Black, the other half of the tag team with Kobe Rollins, Rise of Martyrdom. He's a lightweight mid-card heel, occult, bit of an all-rounder, not exceptional in any one area, but his cruiserweight ability is quite good. He's got a Japanese junior style, so he's got a bit of a striking offense. And again, very good for the tag team division. Jamari Hassan. Now, Jamari Hassan is Iraqi by birth, Middle Eastern, and I really, really like this character. Chain wrestling and mat wrestling in the Bs. In fact, again, an all-rounder, but he's already pretty decent, and I think any type of improvement will see him rocket up the pecking order for me. I would definitely have him around upper mid-card level, and I'd like to see how he could do going like with the main eventers in this company eventually. So that's Jamari Hassan for you. James Avatar is myself. James Samuelson is a graduate of the CWE Elite Wrestling School, and I think this is indicative of the problem that the wrestling school's having. They're not really producing anyone that stand out, because James Samuelson, just, even his face bores me. It does, I've got to be honest. Cocky gimmick, he's part of a tag team with Francis Birch, but, as you know, hiding him in a tag team is the best thing for him at the moment, because if I saw him as a singles competitor, he might be out the door. Move on now to JC Grunge. Now, this guy may look familiar to some of you out there, probably from the beginning of the videos, and, well, yeah, from the beginning of the videos, really. Yoshida used this man, amongst others, including Captain Canada and Jewel, for the front cover, or the artistic work that he did for the London Verse poster, which is fantastic, and I'm still amazed by it. And if he wanted to do any more without me knowing, then just send it to me. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. But anyway, JC Grunge, one of my earlier renders for this database, and still one of my favourites. I think it still stands with some of my more recent work, which is nice. Because sometimes I look at my old renders and go, yeah, I don't know what I was doing with that. That was acceptable for me back then. But for the most part, I think the characters that are in the London verse, they are quite decent. So I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to pat myself on the back. Anyway, enough of blowing my own horn. Not that anyway, right. Yeah, very good actually. Main eventer, as you'd expect. Face, Punk, and I think this is someone that is more suited to the title than the likes of Angel Izzard, and this would be a very good feud. Something that I'll probably book sooner rather than later, given that JC Grunge is already 34 years of age, although I don't think he'd decline too quickly, so I don't think age is actually too much of a problem in this instance, which is nice. Move on now to Jeff Galloway, another graduate of the CWE school. Part of a tag team with Chance Hawkley. And again, it just shows the talent. I mean, in fact, I'd say the CWE, the only good person at the CWE, off the top of my head, trained from their own dojo, if you want, would be Chance Hawkley, and Jeff Galloway's in a tag team with him. So hopefully that will mean that he will improve as well and prove to be useful. I mean, he's only 25, so, and he's not terrible, but again, not too much to stand out about him at the moment. Move on now to Jesus Reyes, or Hurricane Jesus Reyes, because I don't want to call him Jesus Reyes because it's Jesus Reyes. He's an enhancement talent, and that says it all. He's not bad. I mean, in a lot of other companies, in fact, if he was to go back into Mexico, he graduated the CWE Elite Wrestling School, I'll say that off the bat. If he was to return to Mexico or make a move in Mexico, he'd probably do quite well for himself. In the CWE, I don't know how high his ceiling would be, but he'd definitely find work. He's not useless, but enhancement talent is where I would keep him for now, or opener maybe. Move on now to the Wildcat JJ Davis. Now, JJ Davis is managed by Brian Ternelays, who we saw earlier. And as you can see, microphone D+, charisma C-. So it helps that he's got a manager. MMA badass, former competitor in mixed martial arts and was quite successful at doing so. But now trying his hand at wrestling where he's a main eventer. His stats probably don't go along with that sentiment of him being a main eventer, but he is. I think upper mid-carder would be where I'd end up having him, if not mid-carder, to be quite honest. But he's the kind of person that you could see, or I could see, having a push periodically where he goes from mid-carder, then just rises up to the main event, then kind of goes back down, then rises up to the main event whenever terms or whenever needs require. Joel Bertrand, road agent, one of the 3 partial owners of Championship Wrestling Elite. Jolie Bertrand. Joshua Summers, graduated from the House of Adorn, so that already puts a stamp of approval on him. 39 years of age. Quite old, well, pretty damn old on the roster, but he's still a very talented main eventer who can go in the ring as far as chain wrestling, mat wrestling, and submission. I like everything he pretty much brings to the table, apart from his age. It's a bit of a pooper, much like Mr. Flawless in the AWF. Joshua Summers about 10 years ago would have been the Dog's Bollocks. Second time I mentioned Bollocks in this episode, if anyone's counting. Well, Yeah, okay. I do like the guy. I wouldn't de-push him at all. Hopefully he wouldn't be on time declines list, and as it says in the bio, he would be a perennial threat to the CWE Championship. Move on now to Kamal Abbasi. Kamal. I said it right in practice. Sometimes I do practice these names before I come on here, and I used to pride myself in pronouncing them correctly. Kamal Abbasi is an upper card face, old school face. Got quite an interesting look. I do like the look actually, which helps because in-ring wise he's okay if unspectacular. Definitely mid-card would be around about his level. If he were to improve, maybe mixing it up with the main event scene, but I wouldn't probably give him the CWE title. There's a bit of a story to the character actually. He was the bodyguard or the heavy for Money Malone, and Money Malone himself has a bit of a backstory in terms of him being the replacement for Richie Platinum, who obviously is the AWF World Heavyweight Champion. Made his name in CWE, the only man to ever hold both world titles. AWF took him, Richie Platinum went, and the whole character of Richie Platinum was passed on to Money Malone, who's not nearly as good. Now, Money Malone, because of that, brought in people that would be able to assist him. Kamal Abbasi was the heavy, as it were, for him. They split up, had their fallings out in terms of storyline, and Kamal Abbasi is now a face. So, yeah, that's quite interesting, actually. I do like that. Move on now to the King of War, Kevin Cutler. 36 years of age, very, very good brawler, main event face, machine, not heavyweight, sorry, main eventer, deserving of that place, I think. I think he's got a bit of an edge to him because he's not all technical. I mean, he can do the technical stuff, as you can see there, but I like the idea of him just really, really, really kicking the arse of other main eventers with a more kind of edgier, Stone Cold-esque persona. I think that's what we'll go with. I like that. Self-proclaimed lady killer Lexington O'Neill with a fantastic porno tash and greasy hair is actually very good. 33 years of age, upper mid-card heel. Ladies man, this is one of the other characters that is both talented in terms of microphone ability as well as in-ring ability. Probably do quite well for himself in the AWF as well. And down the road, I think I would kind of try and aim him towards the main event scene as a long-term replacement for someone like a Joshua Summers. Not that they're a direct comparison, but if you look at the stats in terms of chain wrestling and mat wrestling, he's probably near enough there to be able to just about fill in when Summers starts to wind down his career. Move on now to Louis Starr. My fingers are getting ahead of me here. They skipped on to the next person. They're thinking, okay, you've had enough on Lexington. Move on, Scott. And we're here on Louis Starr. Now, Louis Starr is a cruiserweight. I think his bio flatters his abilities a little bit. They're saying he's one of the best cruiserweights in America. He is pretty good. I don't know if he'd be up there as one of the best, but he is good. He's got the Hollywood movie star gimmick, bit of a dickish heel, and I think he'd be fun to book in this company. We will now to Maxwell Rogers. Now, for those of you who recall the UKWF video I did quite a while back, it's obviously on the channel. Feel free to go back and have a look at it. This is one of the sons of Oscar Rogers. Maxwell, he's the middle child. He's a main eventer, old school face, and he is phenomenal in terms of in-ring skill. Much like JC Grunge, this is someone that I'd look to rely upon in terms of carrying the title and elevating it to the next level whilst having fantastic matches. Maxwell Rogers is the dog's dangles. We like him. Mitchell Adorn, one of the Adorn boys. So I think this is the only company that one of the famous Rogers family members and the famous Adorn family members are in competition with each other. And Mitchell Adorn is insane. Chain wrestling, mat wrestling in the A's. Brilliant. 30 years of age. Do you know what? Joshua Summers can retire because this guy is here. That's fine. This will do nicely. He's great. He really is very good. There's not too much more I can say about him that can't be seen by just looking at this profile here. Phenomenal talent. Be gutted if he left for another promotion. Money Malone, this is the character we were mentioning earlier. Now, he's not terrible, but he's not great. Rich Snob. Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be fair. I mean, upper mid-carder. He's got a character to him. He's not the worst in the ring, but he's not the best. Relies on his entertainment skills, which... Entertainment skills, not bad. I have to say, not bad. But in-ring, not so great. I think mid-card, I'll probably de-push him slightly to mid-card. But you know, CWE tried to recreate what they had with Richie Platinum with Money Malone, and it just hasn't quite worked, unfortunately. Now that's a diary for anyone out there when the Londonverse is released. The Money Malone story, second best. Nathaniel Quicksilver, graduate of the CWE Elite Wrestling School, now 30 years of age, quite a well-rounded competitor. He's classed as a regular wrestler, but, well, it's kind of fitting because he can do a bit of everything. A mid-card hand to assist other people that are probably going to do better long-term. At least that's how I would use him, but it all depends on how they perform on the night and how well they do. Pierre Simon. Now, Pierre Simon, French-Canadian worker, formerly known as Thomas White. He's pretty decent in terms of technical ability. Basics are actually pretty good with psychology as well. 35 years of age, though, which is the only thing that would make me worry about pushing him for a long-term save. Upper mid-carder is perfectly acceptable for this level, I think, and the arrogant heel's going down a treat with the crowd. Referee Albert Smith, referee Charles Miles, referee Liam Reister. Ricky De Rosario, the Cobra Ricky De Rosario, one half of a tag team, and a very talented tag team actually, although this guy is main event, old school heel, could be a single star in his own right, got quite a Randy Orton-esque look about him, and I think this was actually one of the very early submissions in the forums for this thing, and I think the physical appearance they said, think Randy Orton, so I did think Randy Orton, and that's what I came out with. Still quite proud of that one actually, it's not bad if I do say so. Anyway, chain wrestling, mat wrestling, very nice, brawling okay, and he's entertaining as well, so like I said, although he's in the tag team at the moment, he's already classed as main eventer. Wouldn't really have a problem with him being a champion, to be honest. I mean, he's Italian by birth, so he speaks with. In my head, he's got the American accent, but he is Italian by birth. And in fact, it even says in the bio he moved to the States at the age of 3. So there you go. Riddle, the tag team partner of Insanity. Enigmatic Animality is the tag team name. Mysterious, doesn't speak much. Quite fun as a cruiserweight and good in the tag team division. As a single star, don't see much for him, but I love him in the tag team ranks. Rocco Donaire, the tag team partner of Ricky De Rosario, and although Rocco Donaire is actually quite good, he's not as good as Ricky De Rosario, and I think if they ever broke up, Rocco Donaire would suffer as a result. But he is good, he's a talent. No denying it. Which is good, because if CWE ever do a reshuffle and get rid of people, these people could really, really improve a lot of promotions. Roger Barton, one half of the CWE Tag Team Champions. Yeah, he is good. I thought I'd ballsed that up there. The London Blitz, 37 years of age. Bit Davey Boy Smith-esque in appearance, or old school Davey Boy Smith. Basics is very good. Psychology is good. We're liking everything that he's bringing to the table. He's classed as a main eventer as well, although I wouldn't want him to be a singles competitor purely because the tag team chemistry he has with William Yeager, which is his partner, is incredible. The Widowmaker Ryan Stone was actually signed by AWF at one point, but wasn't the most charismatic, didn't bring too many great stats in terms of technical ability, and AWF let him go, and CWE have brought him in. So, well, Ryan Stone actually asked for his release, but I think the CWE are probably doing him a favour, because although he's not bad, he's not someone that I would have broken the bank to bring in. And I think at $11,278 a month, it's quite a lot, but we'll see how he goes. Sammy Ramsey, I don't know why, I just really like the look of this guy. I think he's quite amusing. 31 years of age, he just looks sad. He looks like you've just slapped, as his mother, you've just slapped him across the backside and said, no dinner, to bed with you. That's the face that Sammy Ramsey's rocking at the moment, and I think it's brilliant. And in ring-wise, he's actually pretty decent. I do like the guy. Lightweight, regular wrestler. I'm saying that a lot. I like the guy. I don't personally hate any of them, but I do like the guy. Yeah, he's good. Upper mid-carder. Definitely not an upper mid-carder. He's a mid-carder. We'll put him down. Sean Winters, enhancement talent, underdog, Australian, who came over here from, he was actually on the DUWS roster at some point, came to America to further his career, and aerial and flashiness might see him do that. Again, if I was the AWF, I'd probably be keeping a close eye on him, because he's only 23, and there's potential there in the cruiserweight divisions. Flyboy Seth Mondo, fantastic. I like the look, I like the idea of the character. Cruiserweight ability is pretty decent, and I find him entertaining to watch, because I've obviously watched him have a real match, even though he doesn't exist. Apart from in this game. What is happening? What is real? Am I real? Yes. Okay, right, we're back with this. Moving on now to not Tyler at all, Taylor Dash. He's an opener, and he's someone that I think has a lot of potential going forward. Whilst his stats don't look particularly great, I think there's a lot of them that are near or nearabouts to being very good. And at the age of 25, he could really improve into being a fantastic all-rounder. Already got the show stealer gimmick, which is ironic for an opener. See if people can top that, and I think they are. But there's potential for the future. TJ Daniels, the party starter, Japanese junior, cruiserweight by trade. Well, not cruiserweight by trade, because I just said he's Japanese junior, but he relies on his cruiserweight abilities of the aerial and flashiness. But his chain wrestling, mat wrestling, pretty good as well. Even though he's a lightweight, I could see this guy really being a main event threat. 29 years of age, he's a mid-card level, got the Rebel gimmick. I would be pushing him. He'd be another project for me. Tracy Finch, jack of all trades, master of none. That about sums it up. He's not the most charismatic, but he's very forgettable, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Being a cruiserweight competitor helps him, because if he was a bigger guy, I think he would fall into the bland category, almost. But because of that, he's got a lot of interesting people to mix it up with in the cruiserweight level. Wardell Ian Pearson, VIP, 29 years of age, main eventer, light heavyweight. Chain wrestling, mat wrestling are awesome, and again, this is a guy that I could see putting the title on quite quickly and holding it for a while as well. There's a lot of talent at the main event scene, there really is. And finally, I believe, William Yeager. William Yeager is the Supersonic Kid, tagging with Roger Barton as the London Blitz, and he is the other half of the CWE Tag Team Champions. 39 years of age, so he's getting up there. Well, he is up there. But very good, actually, all-rounder. He's only classed as a mid-carder, where his tag team partner's a main eventer. But again, I would want to keep them as a tag team unit. Whilst they would have their merits as singles competitors, at least certainly Roger Barton would, I think they've got more value as a tag team entity. And that brings us to an end of this sizable roster. I hope you've enjoyed that. That was fun. Have a look at the storylines, because we do have them set up, because I recall. Right, what's this? Gray versus Star versus Simon. Right, what title is this they're fighting over? They are fighting over a title. I'm guessing it's the mid-level title, which I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it's the United States title. I think it is. We'll have a look anyway. We have a look at the title belts in a moment. Izzard and Idorn. So that is the championship match for the world title, the undisputed title. That's reasonable to me. Lords of Wrestling versus London Blitz. That's a battle for the tag team titles. And Money Malone versus Kimo Abasi. Or Kamal Abasi, excuse me. Not Kimo. Kamo Abasi. Got it right. There we go. So we've got 4 storylines. And we have an episode of TV, which is going to be 2 hours, I would dare say. But we'll look at the titles first. And here we have the fantastic title belts, of course, created by Mr. MJ Stark. Thank you very much, sir. I doff my cap to thee. Undisputed title is held by Angel Izzard. The United States title, I was right, is held by Lewis Starr. And the CWE World Tag Team titles is held by the London Blitz. Now, have a look at the tag teams. Like I said, there's a fair few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I undersold it. I thought we had a lot with 8. We've got 10. We've got the East Coast Mafia, Ricky De Rosario and Rocco Donaire. Enigmatic Animality, Insanity and Riddle. Future Legends, Francis Birch and James Samuelson. Generation Next, Chance Hawkley and Jeff Galloway. London Blitz of Roger Barton and William Yeager. Rise of Martyrdom, Kobe Rollins and Jacob Black. The Awesomeness, Chad Ames and Henderson Pope. The Exceptionals, Alexander Rivera and Damasio Cruz. The Lords of Wrestling, Antonio Ricola and Cassius Orion. And Tribal Hostility, Chelan and Gingox. Nailed it. Move on now to the creative meeting. I don't think there are any stables, that's why I skipped that. Franchise players, all of these are going to be wonderful. Mitchell Adorn, VIP, JC Grunge, Angel Izzard and Roger Barton. Next big things, none. That is absolutely upsetting. Hot prospects. Sean Winters, Harvey Jackson, Chance Hawkley, TJ Daniels and Riddle. Chance Hawkley and TJ Daniels definitely. Talk the Talk, JC Grunge, Brent Adams, VIP, Ricky De Rosario and Mitchell Adorn. Showstoppers, Mitchell Adorn, VIP, JC Grunge, Roger Barton and Adrian Gray. Ring Generals, Mitchell Adorn. Are you getting a theme here? Mitchell Adorn, Maxwell Rogers, JC Grunge, Arthur Baker, VIP. Who's hot? VIP, Mitchell Adorn, Angel Izzard, Maxwell Rogers, Joshua Summers. Who's not? Kobe Rollins, Ryan Stone, Jeff Galloway. I can deal with that. Time Decline. Don Data, Arthur Baker, William Yeager. Yeah, that's fair enough. Hidden Gems. Ooh, we got some new people on here. That is exciting, isn't it? Some of these people I don't think you would have seen. Well, one of them certainly. We've got Clayton Purdy, Titus Flint, Bew Cartwright, the Gentle Maniac. I like that character. He should be an LSX. Maybe he will one day. Kane Gordon. I had a brownie earlier today. I should probably state that, and I think there's a lot of sugar in it. Not a special kind of brownie. I don't condone drugs. That's not for me. If that's what you want to do, it's your fault. And there was a lot of sugar in it, so I've been like bouncing off the ceiling at work, and I think I kind of crashed just as I started to do this video, and then like the second winds kicked in part way through, so I've been having like out of body experiences whilst doing this. So most of this might have been garbage for all I know, but I'm hoping you're enjoying it all the same because I'm having fun. And that's it. So, are there stables? No, there aren't any stables. I was right to not show you that. Okay, let's get into booking a match. We've got enough talent here that I'm not going to really worry about it. Backstage rating of 60. Locker room incidents? Really? Incident involving Adrian Gray. Be good, be good. Oh, God. Got into an argument with a fan outside. Had to be restrained before we made things physical. Riot act. I can't believe you're making this in such a big deal. Nothing even happened. You nearly started a fight with a paying customer, you eyebrow-pierced Wally. Anyway. Chance Hawkley is dating Jeff Galloway. That is not correct. They're supposed to be best friends. I'll change that because that surprised me when I read that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just know that that's not meant to be the case. I'll change that. Not now, but after. It's been Londoned again. Right, so we've got 2 hours TV show. Where do we want to go with this, Scott? Are we going to go with the classic tag team main event where the champion and challenger are on opposing sides? I think we will. So we are going to have... Went to the bottom of the list without realising who I was looking for. So Angel Izzard. We want to get Mitchell Adorn. This main event is going to be spectacular. Maxwell Rogers will be his tag team partner. Angel Izzard, main event heel. VIP could work. Are we going to go VIP? I think we'll go VIP. I was tempted to go with Kevin Cutler, but I think I'll use... Well, he's a face anyway, so that's going to be nonsense. Right, we'll go with that. That should be very fun. I think they'll want 25 minutes. Okay, well, we're going to go 25 minutes. Because I like lengthy main events. Well, when you've got a company with the talent of this, it just makes good sense, doesn't it, really? Victor. I'm going to be interesting. I'm going to let the computer decide the main event. I'm happy with that. Add angle. That, and I didn't really have a preference. Okay, right. Exclude booked. That should get about 4 people. Well, it will get exactly 4 people off the list. Okay, what other titles we got going on? Feuds. Let's put Kamal Bassi. Adrian Gray, actually. If you're a heel, you're taking a massive loss in this. Oh, you're a face. That's shit. Okay, right. We will have you lose elsewhere then, because you've irritated me. Harvey Jackson's a face. Actually, just filter on heels. There you go. Don Data. Yeah, Don Data, you're kind of being faded out, so that you could work as the foil for this one. I don't expect this to be terrific, but... 10 minutes. Victor, definitely not. Don Data. Loser, Don Data. Open match, though. Yep. Okay. Joshua Summers. Come on down. we're going to have you. No, he's too low down. Joshua Summers, either way. Stick with what you were doing. And heels. JJ Davis could work. JJ Davis will work. Okay, so this will go about 16. Might make this the co-main event. Haven't quite decided yet. Don't really know what I'm going to do with the rest of the card. I have that's a lie. I have vague ideas of what I'm going to do. There's so much talent. Like I said, that's why they need a secondary show to get some of the lower workers on, and it is a B show. I think I want it to be a count-out win. Believe it or not. In my head, I was doing a long-term diary thing there, which I would have explained more. But for now, we'll just go with that. Okay, we want I want multi-tag team match actually. With we'll call it a #1 contenders match for the tag team titles. We'll put the East Coast Mafia in there. I said that uncertainly because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. The Laws of Wrestling have to be in there because they're going to be the ones that end up winning. And we need a face tag team. The Awesomeness are a bit too low down. Future Legends are heel. Enigmatic, they're even lower. The Exceptionals, they're too low. Tribal Hostility are heel. See, ideally, I might even put Generation Next in there actually. That's quite a fun outing. I'll only make it go 12 though, don't want to really overdo it. Victor, and actually Antonio Ricola works for that. Loser, I'm going to have one of the faces take the loss, Jeff Galloway, because he's weirdly dating someone that I didn't set to date. Open match. I'll let them choose the finish. Right, what have we got? Another singles match. Oh yeah, Adrian Gray. I decided you were going to lose earlier. What top heels have we got? Annoyingly, very annoyingly, no one I actually want him to lose to. Jamari Lexington O'Neill. We're going to go with Lexington O'Neill. Okay. Go about 13. Victor Lexington O'Neill. Beyond that, I literally couldn't care less what happens in this one. Just wanted to cause a bit of a problem. That was exciting there. Just drop kicked everything and turned it off. I fixed it. We're fine. Crisis averted. Okay. See, I'm tempted to have that actually. I'm going to. I'm bloody going to. Move forward. Yep. Right. What have we done so far? 88 minutes. So we've just gone over the hour. That's alright. I say just gone over the hour. That's nearly an hour and a half. A multi-man match to showcase. What did I just click? I clicked the right thing? Nope. No, I didn't. We'll have 6 people. Let's have 6 of the lower workers just entertain us. Sanity. Just flicking through. Want 3 faces. Chad Ames could work. And JC Grunge, I haven't put him in a match yet. Annoying. Well, it's not annoying, I'll just put him in a match in a second. Lewis Starr. Why not? Really make him look like the bee's knees, beating 5 men. Nathaniel Quicksilver will make the 3rd face. We need 2 more heels. Sammy Ramsey's going to be annoyed if he doesn't win, though. Taylor Dash. Filter on heels, Scott. Save yourself the arse sake. Mac. James Samuelson, just because I don't like him. Which doesn't make sense if I'm putting him on the card. Even Ryan Stone, I'll let be on here. Okay. Quite an eclectic group, you'll have to admit. 8 minutes. Victor will be Lewis Starr. The rest of it we'll let fate decide, that's fine. I don't want the titles to be on the line. Pretty much going to be the opener, I think, this one. Okay, let me think. get one more match on there. We put a tag team match on. JC Grunge is going to be one of the members. Still got a lot to choose from, which is nice. Haven't had that luxury in some of the other videos I've done recently. Big time face, big time face. Actually, it doesn't have to be a big time face. I could go with like TJ Daniels actually, and this could elevate him. And then we'll just filter on the heels and see what I want to work with. I want to get Jamari Hassan on the card because I like him. And Sammy Ramsey because I like him as well. That's a fun group of 4 people there. Maybe the future main event scene. I know JC Grunge is already there, but the others aren't. Ooh. It's only going to have to go about 8 minutes though. JC Grunge I'll let win. Sammy Ramsey to lose. We'll leave it after that. Now I'll put some angles in and hopefully that won't cost us. Okay, add angle. Pretty much everyone can talk. I want Mitchell Dawn to talk about Angel Lizard. You know the process by now, people. 5 minutes. That there. Add angle. Promo singles. And this will be the return. Angel Lizard talking about Mitchell Dawn. And again, as I've said in all the other videos, if I was doing a long-term diary, this would be much better thought out and have more purpose with my actions. But for now, I'm just going to do what I'm doing. This will go earlier in the show. That's actually enough. That will be enough to get us through this, so I might actually leave it at that. Didn't want to over-egg it with the promos, so we'll save it. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm happy. Let's see how things go. Yeah, positive. Okay, even this was better than I thought it was going to be. So the results from CWE Elite TV being held by Championship Wrestling Elite is being held in front of 10,000 people at Ivanovich Riverside and is being shown live on NCTV. In a match that had some good action but not much in the way of heat, Lewis Starr defeated Chad Ames, Insanity, Nathaniel Quicksilver, James Samuelson and Ryan Stone in 7 minutes 36 when Lewis Starr defeated Insanity by pinfall with a Walk of Fame. Nathaniel Quicksilver was really off his game tonight. The announcing quality lifted the match. Very nice. Did I double skipped there, didn't I? We'll see at the end what I double skipped. I think I tapped it twice. In about the feature, great action and average heat, JC Grunge and TJ Daniels defeated Jamari Hassan and Sammy Ramsey in 7 minutes 37 when JC Grunge defeated Sammy Ramsey by pinfall with the Fall of Man. Mitchell Dawn, B promo and Angel Lizard. Ooh, I should have put this higher up. In about the featured great... I know which match I skipped now. In about the featured great action and a good crowd, Joshua Summers defeated JJ Davis in 50 minutes 31 by countout. I should have reversed it. In about the featured great action and average heat, Lexington O'Neill defeated Adrian Gray in 30 minutes 19 by pinfall with the Moist Maker. I don't like the name of that move. That sounds grim. The Moist Maker. I named it that myself, but I forgot. That's brilliant. I was hoping to get an A out of this. In about the featured great action and good crowd, Angel Lizard and VIP defeated Mitchell Dawn and Maxwell Rogers in 24 minutes and 42 seconds when Angel Lizard defeated Maxwell Rogers by pinfall with a Shining Izzard. That's a shame. But it gets a B overall, keeps us at our current level. Wow, I skipped 2 matches by tapping. 3 matches, holy shit, what? Anyway, okay, so let's have a look at what we missed. Kamau Abassi defeated Don Data, got a C. We got a B+ from the Angel Lizard promo about Mitchell Dawn. And the Lords of Wrestling defeated East Coast Mafia and Generation Next with a B-. So overall, not a bad show. Kept us at the level. Like I said, wasn't too much thought that went into the booking of it. But that brings us to an end of the review or coverage of CWE. Now, I really do think we're in the final frontier of covering the promotions in the Londonverse. I think there's only 5 left that haven't been given this treatment. So, again, we're nearing the end of the series. Let me know down below. Let me know down below. That sounds absolutely grim. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see me do with TEW after this series is done. Obviously, the Girlfriend Challenge will continue, as will the other series that I have ongoing at the moment. But in terms of TEW coverage, what would you like me to do next? I'm relatively open to suggestions as nothing's been set in stone at this point. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have liked this video, do hit the like button down below and subscribe. Down below again, we're back downstairs. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's been fantastic seeing the support, nearing 100 subscribers now, which is fantastic. And until next time, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you around.